Okay, Glenn, let's talk until the power runs out. A suitable metaphor for life.
Yeah, that is one thing. A stir, like a heavy Glaswegian accent, I have to be ready for it or I won't understand it. Like if you called me with one, hello,
there's a lot of stops, a lot of handbrake stops in the middle of words and stuff. You could have just gone through with that word.
Yeah.
There's no need to. So are you playing a didgeridoo? Or,
Yes, sir. Put down the didgeridoo. Then it's worse. Study about it. Eat it.
The best thing is going around with people not from Glasgow trying to explain that other people aren't arguing. What's your problem with those two guys? They're friends.
Yeah.
Talking about how much they love each other.
I can't explain why the headbutt went in, but they are friends. Sectarianism and Scottish racism, where people are like, it's sort of, this just happens. I'm like, it's the fucking whiskey, man. It's the whiskey. It's not, nobody's that hateful out of nowhere. Like, if you put whiskey in Buddha's castle, Buddhism would have a lot of dark sides. It's the most violent drink, and it's not like, ha, yeah, maybe, a hamburger might cause a heart attack. No, it's fucking every time.
That's what the Shaolin Temple is, man. It's just the fucking Buddhists who got whiskey. I get 4 crates of this stuff a week, and we fight a tree. I fucking did this show here, and it was like, it's really tuned to the full moon as well, Glasgow. Like a full moon is a fucking proper bad sign. And we did the second tour. We started on a full moon in Glasgow, and it was just like the show was just like fucking, it was mental. So we leave really late, and the streets are just really fucking weird, and I get up to the Oranmore pub down the road, and I just see this big fucking industrial roll of like toilet paper come flying out, this big giant roll of like boom onto the street from what should be a closed pub, right? And they're like, okay. And this woman runs out, I'm the only guy in the street, and grabs me and goes, Mister, come in, there's a guy in there fighting himself. I was really fucking proud of my response, which was, what do you want me to do? Break it up? Wander off. It was just like, you've just got to wait for the moon cycle to change, and then it'll be fine.
My dad is a defense lawyer. He's got a client that is so aware of his bad behavior during the full moon that he actually chains himself up in the barn like a fucking werewolf.
Werewolf fighting.
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, fucking fool me twice. Just go lock myself down in the barn and can't do nothing dumb. Yeah.
I've killed 3 guys delivering hay.
I went to Mass in Dublin for Christmas, midnight Mass. I quite enjoyed the homily. I thought it was interesting, but the priest, it's his big homily of the year, I believe. This is the one he's been sort of saving up for. He's like, a lot of people discredit the need for the Catholic Church. Let me just say this, though. I mean, there must be something good with the Catholic Church, because we've been through a lot of scandal and we've been mismanaged, and we're still here.
maybe measles has a point. It's never quite cleared up, has it? Look at the desert. Any day now, the desert's gonna leap into action and show us what the fuck it was for.
Yeah. I mean, and then even that take on things where, like, I'm not saying the Catholic Church hasn't done anything good. That'd be a ridiculous statement. Of course, there's some things that they've done wonderfully and were a benefit. But what I've always thought about all the religious books that rely on a Messiah is none of them really say that the world was that bad of a place before them.
Got a bit sick of olives, if I'm honest. That's the one thing. What, on everything? Olive oil on everything? Okay. Think of all the fucking money they've got. Like the church is the richest thing on earth. And they're too miserly to do a single fucking thing with it. A single spectacle. There's no fucking Disney to it. The Pope's like a fucking dragon. The Pope is just sitting on top of a pile of fucking doubloons in his cave. And he needs to fucking get some of that moving. Create a bit of fucking distraction with it. Sorry, we fucked you.
Yeah, in a worldwide recession, maybe like fucking water slide parks or something.
A water slide park fucking presided over by a "I'm sorry we fucked you" metal titan.
Yeah, actually, any sort of children's entertainment would probably not be the best route to go.
Sorry, we fucked your parents.
Yeah, can we see your kids in their swimming trunks, please?
It's fucking like the choir even. Who needs a whole load of kids singing something? Kids all have the same fucking voice. Phil Spector had a whole bunch of like black women singing in his bands because he liked to fuck black women. Yeah, like we need 100 kids that sound like this, so I've got a bit of choice.
That's what I noticed too. Is the altar boys now? There's girls too. Really? Was that part of the? Was that part of the order? It's like, well, maybe give them some girls.
Just anything. Try and mix it up a bit.
Yeah, well, or just
Put in a zebra. That guy that thinks he's a tiger. Stick him in. Let's just try and distract these fucking horny bastards. I hate the fucking science now as well, though. Obviously, I hate religion deeply. But also, I hate atheism too. I might just be a hate machine. But it's just that thing of like, there's a new certainty. So you're sort of like, oh, here's what I can be certain about. And you're like, fucking 50 years ago, you would have been a priest. Or you would have been a preacher. Or you would have been...
Yeah, it takes just as much faith, to be an atheist as it does to be religious. And I think that more confirmed atheists, just as with confirmed religious people, most of them don't really believe that. Like I think I don't think they're secretly following religion, but there's a lot of things you have to let go of to be an atheist. The idea of luck, a soul, aliens. You have to let all of these things go. You have to be certain, because all religion is, it says that there is a higher power. Now, that could be an alien.
And all of Jesus' miracles are explicable in terms of aliens, an anti-gravity belt to walk on water, a fucking wine ray. The first thing I bet would be a wine ray.
Those would be the things that you would do if you were sort of an advanced being having to be on Earth at that time. You would drink, you would drink. You'd be surrounded by these fucking idiots. And then you'd have a hangover and you'd have to see someone with leprosy. Whoa!
My ship crashed in Bethlehem. 3 guys followed me. You know that the fucking Mary and Joseph had myrrh on their fucking shelf for decades. Man. Fuck are we gonna do with that myrrh?
Yeah. Jesus, if you're changing things, could you?
If you're moving out, Jesus, take the myrrh.
Well, I was working on a thing. It's about how much people trust science now, as opposed to how evil they think religion is. You know, never ever looking at the bad points of science. Religion never did anything like pollution. That's science. Science did that. You know, all I'm saying is that under the Catholic Church, some kids got fiddled. The greenhouse effect, that's gonna fuck all the kids.
Yeah. Is it, I don't know, is there a fucking thing of like, science is kind of like the chosen people idea of religion? You know, so it's that thing of, you are transcendent and you got to name the animals and blah blah. You're like, no, you are a fucking animal, you know? So all these people who are like, they're Darwinists essentially, and they're sort of going, yeah, and this is how we will, by science, strive and rise above. You're like, you're not fucking rising above anything. You're another fucking animal, you know? You need to eat shit that comes off a fucking tree to survive. You're a hugely inefficient fucking animal, and you're shitting all over your cage, and you're gonna fucking die, just like a fucking animal would if it wasn't fucking cleaned out. Do you know what I mean? If monkeys could make fucking carrier bags and fucking flannel shirts and CDs, they'd be fucking dead in a week, you know? And we've just got a giant cage that we're gonna fucking shit all over until we die.
Yeah.
Lost my job at the greeting card company.
I had an idea for a sort of step up from the whoopee cushion, which would be, I think it would be pump based, but gag hard on.
Right?
You know, something that you could just pump up. You know, wear it with loose trousers. You know, viewing a body at a funeral. Pump, 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 pump. Turn around. Gag hard on.
The depressing thing is, for all the fucking great gags you've written, that's the thing that will see you in not just a fucking beach house in Malibu, but like a fucking orbital space station. And I gotta go and see Glenn up the... You going up the space tube? Yeah. Oh, he's greeting me at the fucking docking station with a pretend hard on.
That's what you think. I've had I've got the I don't even know what it was, the Gag On. I got the 4.0. This one actually inserts into the penis.
Yeah, you're just always trying to top it and you can't. You're just it's so simple. It's just, you know, the guy that does the post-it notes says, what if they had notes already written on it? Look, you've done it, buddy. You're a billionaire.
If I perforated them, you could have a half a post-it note. By what?
Giraffe shaped? I don't know. I'm so bored and so rich.
I used to love joke shops when I was a kid.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I don't think they have them anymore.
Yeah, no, there's one in Glasgow, Tam Shepherd's.
Is it?
Yeah. It's always weird to me that they've always connected with magic. So usually magic shops. So they'll have like serious magician stuff, you know, folding coins and like if you were proper working act, and fake dog shit. Like, as a magician, that must really fucking bring it home to you what kind of area you work in. You know what I mean? if you went
No, behind the rubber vomit. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I see it now.
if you went to a comedy bookshop and like there were also books just about how to spit on people. Oh god, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man, just forever trapped in that lonely childhood. That's the real trick. The trick that you've managed to stay that fucking ignored 8-year-old into an adult body that you've beaten to fucking death.
Yeah, like it all starts in the wrong place for me. Like, oh, you're trying to embarrass me. That's where this starts.
Yeah.
And then if I can't figure it out, then you've won. Or how about I just don't pay attention to you and your fucking piece of string with a P on the end of it, or whatever you're doing. Or
well, now they do close magic, and the reason they do fucking close magic is no one pays attention when they're fucking more than 6 feet away. Like, we can't put them on a stage anymore, just get them right into people's faces.
Yeah.
The kind of the fucking social software of politeness makes you go, oh, just look into a diamonds. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the weirdest life being a magician. A whole lot of guys show up with girlfriends, and I demonstrate to them card tricks. They seem to have concentrated on a different area of life.
Yeah. Well, that one, I was thinking today too, where they're like, we need to stop. You know, we've got these, so we can, you know, stop a tyrannical government. That's like, do you have drones too and a nuclear missile? It's like, how good do you think these guns are going to be? Like, if the government rises up and really, like, you know,
you could have Judge Dredd's fucking gun.
Yeah.
You wouldn't make an impact in that fucking country.
No, America has quite a military, and you won't stop them. You know, like the best thing you might be able to do is go and live in that bunker you've been hoarding in for 10 years, and then
try and fight off all the other people with guns. That's part of the thing. Hey, I got a bunker full of guns. Well, so did everybody else. I hate those fucking people, man. Just that whole... We should encourage piracy. The whole thing with fucking the piracy thing is like, oh, these terrible people fucking taking boats. And you're like, they're fucking dirt poor. Who doesn't like pirates? Ask a kid. You know? Yeah. They love a fucking pirate, you know? And now, fucking all these Sudanese pirates, they wear fucking, or Somalian pirates rather, they wear fucking romper suits. So we've fucking got the perfect world where kids dress as pirates, pirates dress as little kids. It's a fucking beautiful poetry to it, and they should be encouraged.
Well, there's people some of the hostages is claimed to have had quite a good time in the hostage camps. You know, where they don't hate them. They're they're being nice to them. They're having fun. You know, they got a little money behind them. They could put on a party for these dudes, and they're just waiting, you know. I'm sure there's a couple ladies they can go have a crack at, and a bar, and, well, we're hostages for a while.
Hostage takers get a bad rep, man.
They really do, but, you know, they don't run they don't own the newspapers.
Imagine they did. Sports reports are just sadly no one was taken hostage at the match. They should do a show that's like a Dom Jolly type show with Dom Jolly, right? Where every person he plays a prank on is a violent sexual hostage taker. He's just I want to change these shoes. I like that idea as well. Gang swap. Just getting like a guy from a Scottish housing scheme and sending him over to like Sao Paulo, MS-13, fucking proper gang. And fucking meanwhile in Scotland, Ricardo has gone missing. Turns up having stitched his enemy's face onto a fucking football or something as a end of park cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's a production crew, Ricardo. We're just checking. You're not seeking out weapons, are you? No, I'm not. At the Folker Grill, it's amazing. I just want to see it. It's the greatest piece of engineering.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it's... people would be upset if they knew I came and didn't see it.
That thing of gun ownership in America, imagine that in Scotland. So I think the thing about America is not that they have these fucking gun massacres, but that they don't have more. If everybody's got a gun, if fucking everybody in Glasgow had a gun, it would just be like a fucking... It would be like a fucking Wild West musical. It would just be like firing at taxi cabs, fucking... I would have killed the fucking taxi driver on the way here if I had a gun.
Yeah, you'd start like doing trick shots and stuff, and not even using them to kill, just attention. Waiter.
Who do you think are the worst profession? If you had to narrow it down.
Like the most
Evil.
I'd say bankers.
Yeah.
We're pretty happy about it in our family because the rest of us are lawyers, and we used to be the worst. And then bankers came along, and people were like, "What lawyers? It's not that bad. You need one."
It's pretty evil, isn't it, man? It's just that thing of, I don't know, how much money do you need? And who the fuck needs a yacht? Who the fuck wants to not be on land for any amount of time socially, you know? Oh, I'd enjoy this dinner a lot more if the room was shaking. You know, that's what they're chasing. They're just, I need a fucking submarine and an island and and they're literally like that. Branson's got a fucking island, you know? He's fucking inventing a submarine. He's trying to go into space. If I had his money, I'd fucking put the cunt in space. It's the first thing I'd do. Let's put Richie Branson in space.
Yeah. And the only way you can come back is to show an ounce of dignity. And he never can.
Get him to fucking balloon trip off there, man. You got to ride back in a balloon. We'll love you for it, man. It's that thing where they goes about, oh, we're the country's in debt. We've got this debt, and like you something. You've got this debt. I could move. I could go to Spain. You know? Yeah. They've got their debt as well. It's fuck all to do with me.
Yeah. Well, I always wonder who the debt is to. That's the, they we owe a lot of money. To who?
To speculators, essentially, to hedge funds and all the people that lend money by buying government bonds. So the governments sell bonds in their future productivity, their future GDP, and those get bought up. So we owe them to huge investors.
Sure, but they're not stronger than countries.
Yeah, well, they don't have an army.
I know.
Let's go for this. If I had paid my telephone bill and they're going to come around and cut me off or whatever, but I had an army in the house, I'd be pretty fucking sanguine.
You know that money we were supposed to pay you back with? We bought an army with it.
Yeah. We gave our army special creditor-seeking bullets with the money that we were supposed to pay you. We've invested in missiles that follow your DNA. Come and get it, motherfucker.
Yeah. I just...
All the banks from Switzerland, right? All the fucking money's in Switzerland, and Switzerland are like, we're neutral, blah, blah, blah. I bet you're neutral. Let's get fucking stuck in there. Let's fucking invade.
Yeah.
Take all the money, like Kelly's heroes. The whole nation should be like Kelly's heroes, man. Now get our fucking boys in there.
Well, if all the money's in Switzerland, and we just fucking gas them, or whatever we do.
Maybe gas them.
Or just take their money. Now, Europe, everyone's unhappy right now.
Yeah.
And Switzerland thinks it's great. It's fucking democracy. Just take all the money from Switzerland, redistribute it. One country's upset, the rest of Europe's very happy.
Yeah. And to be honest, Israel's not unhappy either.
Which is the first time in a long time I've been able to say that.
Great to see you smiling again, Israel. It's so long. Great big smile you've got there with a gold tooth in the middle.
Yay!
Good for you.
And you can finally say for the first time in 10 years, you weren't the biggest prick in the news. It was Europe for one time. You said something earlier about drones. I had an idea the other day, and I wonder if this is going to actually happen. Like, in the future, will Remembrance Day parades just be drones?
Robots with one leg, fucking.
Just sort of sputtering down the street, pip, 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 and then these fucking fat nerds munching on a bag of Doritos and a Slurpee, got their Atari joystick on their fucking lapel like a general. Going, yeah, man, I got the high score in Iraq. There they go, our young lads. You know, a lot of these kids came out of that war with diabetes. Fucking, where's their health care? Fucking
C-3PO with a rusted face cannon. Takes the salute from our robot queen. They built a thing that looks like it's the fastest robot that they've managed to build to go over land, right? And it looks like a jaguar. It looks like a cheetah, right? And it moves like, you know, a four-legged big cat. Right?
yes,
Have you seen it?
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I know obviously the fucking next stage is to put a face gun or a crown, like a crown of guns on its fucking metal head and send it through a village. Just like the fucking, like, you know, some techno fucking Lord of the Rings fucking man.
Yeah, that's when you'll know they have that completed when magnets are illegal. No, you just can't have them. No, you don't need them. What do you need a big magnet for?
People desperately try to build their own fucking robot defences out in Somalia, man. I've taken this Buzz Lightyear and I have given him a boxing glove. Hope for the...
They're just dressing their goats up in clothes, hoping that it'll seem like a human form to the fucking robot.
Well, we've been looking at the Americans' plans for robots, and basically our best hope is that Allah is real. Let's just really hope that the big man steps in and fucking tears America off the planet.
Yeah, I forgot the other thing with the drones. They're also trying to do a thing where they've got these like robotic suits for soldiers to make them super soldiers.
Power suits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, you better hope that whoever you're fighting isn't really good at hacking computers.
Stop slapping your own face. Why slap yourself in the face?
No, I think more sort of Macarena style dance. They're all doing.
Televised hostage siege where some guy starts fucking wanking through the window of an embassy. Is he wanking his robot cock?
Why did they even give him a robot cock? Punishment rape, sir. Punishment rapes.
That's the thing, man. When you turn fucking war into a computer game, fucking drones and all that, you're never going to beat China. Are you fucking kidding me? Some fucking 14-year-old kid wins the fucking war while he's playing FIFA with the other hand. This to the west and 2-0 to the Arsenal. And this was quite an interesting thing that came out of WikiLeaks and never really got talked about. Fallujah, I remember they did that big siege of Fallujah and just fucked it. Fallujah afterwards was more radioactive than fucking Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it can't get that radioactive just because they're using depleted uranium shells or whatever. It's just not enough radioactivity. So something happened there, like, fuck knows. They detonated a fucking nuke high in the atmosphere or something. But something happened to fucking irradiate a whole city.
Well, maybe there was weapons of mass destruction, and they accidentally blew them up. That would be the worst day in George Bush's life. Like, we blew them up, George. So there's no proof.
Either they had nuclear weapons or that round from my .22 pistol destroyed a 3-mile radius. Fallujah. There was also the thing where Iran, they're going, Iran should be allowed to have peaceful nuclear power but not build bombs and stuff. And you're like, it's a fucking earthquake zone. much better than to have nuclear missiles that they can move. You know, a peaceful reactor or a fucking...
Yeah. What was the thing I was thinking of? Have you heard about Steubenville?
No.
It's a small town in America whose high school football team raped a woman.
Yeah, I saw it. There was an internet thing and it was... there's a video of the dudes. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Pre-rape video, post-rape video.
The post-rape video, and that's what got me because I was thinking about accusations of inappropriate humor and what people find to be inappropriate humor, because that little boy or young man is, I don't think he was involved in the rape, but he was definitely there when it was going on. And he was making jokes about how lifeless the tragic young woman was, believing her to be dead, and he kept making all these similes as to how dead she was. He found that to be very funny, and he was going, "Oh, she was deader than a frog on the highway," and he kept like making all these different similes as to how deceased she was. And then he got to one and he went, "Man, she was deader than Andy Reid's son." And he stopped and like thought, "Oh, I've really gone too far there." Andy Reid is a football coach whose son passed away this year, young, maybe 30, mid-30s, and died. It was just so weird that's when the kid was like, "Whoa."
Worried that a bunch of rapists are going to pull him up for him.
"Hey, dude." Yeah. "Hey, man.
There's a line. Rape's behind that line and you're over the line."
Yeah, you make me feel sick. You know what? Take the pill. Take the pill. You know how you get punished.
It's weird, isn't it? Fucking just like a kind of orc culture. That's what they look like, man. Just like kind of like that's what orcs would do. If you had a realistic fantasy novel where you could actually have a look into, yeah, we fucking reaped that elf good.
Yeah.
You know, orcs weren't fucking playing badminton, or they were definitely raping.
Well, maybe they were. Maybe the battles, they were just sort of getting it out of their system. They had such it was almost like a Victorian culture or culture, and they were so repressed. That's why they did such horrible things on the battlefield, because they just knew that at home was an orc wife knitting.
Orc literature is actually very uptight and
Yeah.
very formal. Such a formal society.
They wouldn't look like they wrote such beautiful calligraphy, but they did.
Well, there's this whole idea, isn't there, that fantasy novels are racist, right? So someone came out and said this about Tolkien years ago. They went, look, it's just someone, exterminating another society, and there's a group of people who, for racial reasons, right, not because of any political conflict, like they're just the bad race and they have to be exterminated. And it's actually, it's kind of, it could only come from a culture that had gone and exterminated people who were in the way. Only a culture like Britain could have come up with that.
Yeah. So you're suggesting Lord of the Rings was elf propaganda?
Yeah. You kidding me? Of course it was. all fantasy novels are propaganda, man. You read them Conan, and it's always like, Conan was so mighty, and then at the start of the next fucking story, he's got no jewels, he's got fuck all, and he's off to start something again, because the story always ends with, and I had to drop the jewels to save the lady, and blah blah, and you're like, this is Conan. Conan fucking wrote this. And the dude, Robert E. Howard, who wrote the Conan story, said he was a massive alcoholic, obviously. Conan wrote this. Conan would come and stand over me while I was at the typewriter. And obviously, as a kid, you think, no, you're pissed. And then later, you think, no, this is Conan propaganda. This is Conan going, I fought the giant snake, and that's why I had no money at the start of the next week. And I had, you're like, no, this is you, fucking Conan.
Yeah, a lot of them, the stories were letters to his landlord. Yeah, I did have it. I just there was a viper woman. She's bad, man.
It's not even a medieval society. It was in like 1930s Chicago. I girded my buckler on and Conan.
Yeah.
Also, he was a king eventually in the books. So Conan was the king, and you think, well, if he was a barbarian who became king, they would write his history, and people would come around and go, so where were you before you suddenly seized our throne? Well, a lot of places. But these don't seem to be on our maps, Conan. Well, let me tell you about the frog-headed god of Thoth.
Yeah.
It was just fucking,
But first, I have to ingest this mushroom.
That was it, man. The fucking shaman king of Aquilonia. I don't know how we got into that. Never mind. The Lord of the Rings is deeply racist.
Yeah.
If the fucking BNP stepped up their game, man, they would use the Lord of the Rings as propaganda, and they would start to dress as elves. Just very fucking gradually and insidiously. Every party with a kind of race agenda would just start to lengthen their ears and bring in, their party political broadcast would have sort of music from an instrument that you'd never really seen before, a tiny stringed bejeweled harp, and you'd sort of just gradually, by osmosis, you'd start to believe yourself to be part of a high elf rebellion against orcs.
Do you think that might be what the Fathers for Justice were doing with the superhero garb? If
these guys had a fucking clue, like what people should do, right? Fucking give them their kids for about 2 weeks, right? That'll cure those fucking losers. Because there was like the first guy that fucking claimed something or something, his wife came out and went, he never fucking comes to see his kid. He's got access. He's just... just a cunt, you know.
He's
he never
too
fucking
busy
pays, like,
dressed up.
I'm a Captain America and fight Big Ben, and you're like, no. And she's like, the guy just give them the fucking kid, give them the kids for like fucking 4 months, and you'll just never see the fucking dad ever again.
Yeah.
He'll hang himself.
But it's one of those things. I mean, they have a legitimate point in a modern society. Why does the child always go to the mother, or why is it it's that?
It's generally better, because whilst men love their kid and go, yeah, I could look after that kid, they can't. You know, the law has gradually worked that out. Of, hey, what happened to all those kids we gave to the dad? They died. So let's just have a rule of thumb. Mom knows best, and you know, they should sort of go with the mother in general. They sort of.
I think I agree with you. But it's the same with auto insurance, where women pay less for auto insurance because they drive better.
I think the judge should always say that in the summing up over custody. You're not gonna get to see your kid ever again. I mean, think of it like auto insurance. You know, she's not gonna smash the kid up because she's drunk. She's not gonna fall on top of him and suffocate him on the stairs. She's a woman. You're a guy. We do. Come on, buddy. If you're honest.
Yeah. Look me in the eye. Yeah, you can't. You can't.
Just lift up your domino mask there.
Jeez.
Will you be in the Green Lantern? And the classic Green Lantern guy there. Lift up the mask and look me in the eye. You can't do it.
Staring at your little green booties. I like that you wore this. Not everybody wears the shoes with the costume, and I think it sets the whole thing off.
Not everyone can put a tiny projector into a ring. You've gone to a lot of effort here.
Yeah, maybe if you put some of that effort into your children's Halloween costumes, we wouldn't be in this.
Your son went out as that kid who got napalmed in Vietnam last year. That was a sickening part of the case. I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
15-year-old boy. It's disgusting.
No. And where did you get napalm? Why did you have to go to that extent?
I don't need to say something about fucking custody access, but probably it would tread on my own custody access. So let's just say Mama knows best.
Yeah.
And good luck, everybody. Best of luck to y'all. There's a thing, isn't there, where you couldn't. It's not enforceable, right? So if you've got a custody situation, it's usually that the guy gets some access, but ultimately there's no kind of legal basis to it. So even if you went to court and you had the thing drawn up to go, well, I've got to see my kid 3 times a week, and then one of those times you didn't get to see them because something happened, you can't take them to court because the judge isn't going to go, well, jail his mum. You know, that little 5-year-old had to go to a birthday party unexpectedly, jail his mum. You know, that's not going to happen. So ultimately it's all just fucking everybody's got to try and work together anyway. And if you're a dad, you don't want the judge to jail his mum, because you're like, I'd like him to jail her maybe 3 afternoons a week. Jail her during the time I've got him. I don't want her 7 days a week.
Yeah. I can drop her off at the penitentiary when I pick up the child.
That's just more stuff to do.
Yeah, but then I'll drop the child off at the penitentiary and then they can make their way home.
You jail her over Christmas, and can you make sure she's not jailed for all the European matches?
Yeah, and Valentine's Day. Yeah, my brother, he does family law.
Right?
I think maybe he didn't go into that in the end, but I can't imagine why you'd want to do that. Every day. Oh, you fucking tell her.
Yeah, we call this the ceiling blood room. When I look up at the ceiling there, see how some of our previous meetings have gone. Hell of a Tuesday.
Yeah, that came from a gentleman who rose his blood pressure so high that it actually seeped through his skin.
He became a human exclamation mark. What do you matter?
Superheroes. I was thinking, fucking the Hulk would have been better if Bruce Banner was just a really bad-tempered guy anyway. Just really on a fucking knife edge. I ordered a fucking flat white. This is a lady. The last thing you need is more caffeine, Bruce. The Hulk, if you took out the Hulk bit, which might just be in his head, could be the story of a travelling paedophile. So he's just like, and he opens up his suitcase every week and he's got all these different clothes for fucking DNA. He's got like 20 pairs of the same pants. You're in another town. If I don't turn into a monster again.
I always thought fucking Spider-Man, like, his spider sense was actually just Peter Parker trying to contextualise his panic attacks. So he's out on a fucking rooftop fighting a lizard and he's like, oh, my spider sense! And you're like, no, you're fucking losing it, man. You're fighting a fucking giant lizard. It's fucking weird for him as well that everybody comes from his fucking social circle. So, you know, the lizard's like his fucking teacher. His dad's buddy's fucking some kind of, you know, robot fucking bomb throwing villain.
Yeah.
Like, there's barely anyone that he doesn't know. You think he's just like, I need to fucking move.
Yeah, it sounds like the inhabitants of a gay bar in the 50s. Well, this guy's actually the baker, and this guy.
Hey, has a lizard lost an arm? No, he's about to pull it back out. You know I got here, Dr. Octopus.
Oh, God. He's a squirter.
Let me Elton John just got fucking Doc Ock's haircut. Just give me Doc Ock again.
Doc Ock me.
The thing I always thought, you know, he hated being so horrible and, you know, so deformed and stuff from the cosmic radiation. Was that, you think, fucking have a different name then. Have some fucking self-esteem. Don't call yourself the Thing. You know, fucking sheer self-hatred seeping out of this fucking superhero man. Ain't Rockman, anything, man. I want to call myself piece of shit, but Mr. Fantastic. Very brave.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic. You can see how happy he is.
Just the difference in fucking happiness between those guys.
Yeah, he actually wanted to call it the Fantastic Three in The Thing.
I didn't even think his fucking wife could turn invisible and she just left him.
Convoluted story about this invisible wife.
It's an incredible power you've got there, honey. You can also telekinetically send me papers from a divorce lawyer. Two amazing abilities.
I always liked Iron Man growing up. He was my dude.
I liked him as well, man, but now looking back I can't think what appeals to a kid about a former alcoholic.
Arms dealer.
Arms dealer. He's so an arms dealer.
Yeah, it'd be hard to sell him now. You know, just a drunk arms dealer. Oh, yeah.
They're still doing it, man. Movies. I've invented this cluster bomb. That's the first movie. I want fucking Anonymous to hack into his fucking suit and fly him into the fucking sun, man. The start of the fucking rebellion against super fucking heroism, man. I hate him.
Yeah, well, the lines are all being blurred now with superheroes. You're never really sure, and they give you more backstory on villains too. They're not so bad anymore. You can kind of see their point, but like if you look at it, there's been great comparisons made between Al Qaeda and the rebels in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except Darth Vader won in the real world. Luke was just having a stroll around his complex, and a couple of stormtroopers got him. Looks like they can shoot straight in real life.
I thought Batman's villains were like the sort of things a guy would hallucinate if his parents got killed. It's just like, yeah, just Scarecrow, and it's just he's in a fucking padded cell somewhere.
Well, no discernible superpower either.
No.
Just
Richness.
just a crazy guy that thinks he's a bat. He's lucky he won his first few fights as the Batman. He'd be showing up on late night talk show monologues. Have you seen this guy? He's dressed up like a bat. He's got his ass kicked again.
Get beaten to death with a pole by a guy dressed as a penguin.
Yeah, he'd be on YouTube.
You'd fucking move from Gotham if you were rich.
I definitely wouldn't go to the functions if bats and clowns kept fighting. You get your wife in her best dress, you hire a sitter, and all of a sudden some acid-faced clown squirts poison gas on you. You're like, oh, Christ's sake, this neighborhood is...
Really committed philanthropists in Gotham, man. Let's go out to the ball to raise money for the skate park. Well, you remember last time? That kind of clay man turned up and abducted our son? Yeah, but the kids need somewhere to... Not our kid. He was suffocated in clay.
Yeah, let's just go lay a wreath. That little bowl of clay that we...
It's the statue of his agonized face in the garden.
Yeah. You know who always got me, and he's not a superhero, but there was definitely a show about him. Knight Rider, Michael Knight's only job was as a decoy, so that no one would know that Kit was driving the car himself. Like, that's all he did, was just sat in the car. Like,
we've hired you because the inflatable man got a puncture.
yeah, we couldn't get the automatic pilot from Airplane. Yeah, just sit there, don't get drunk, because if we get pulled over, then we can't drive around. So. But that was the thing, because I thought I was just done with those sort of movies, like I just thought I was too old for them. But then the Avengers came along, and that was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Far better than Batman, that thing, where fucking the Avengers are fighting off fucking space lizards that have come through a time portal. A god is riding them around, and then with fucking Occupy Gotham on the other side. I don't care. It's not even like a real place. Like, what if Gotham were to go, make up a fucking robotic Gotham and live there, it doesn't matter.
shooting a bunch of people was a fucking valid reaction to that movie. That was the most valid piece of film criticism. And of course, everybody shied away from it. What is it about the fucking movie that made this happen? If I'd had a fucking grenade during that movie where Tom Cruise was trying to blow up Hitler, I'd have fucking killed someone. To be honest, if I had a fucking chair leg, I'd have done some damage.
Yeah, it's the weird thing about the American military movies too, where I mean they're flat out funded by the U.S. Army. You know, it's like they're advertisements to join the army.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Top
Can they give them the equipment and all that?
Yeah. Well, it'd be pretty expensive to do it. An Air Force movie with planes you made yourself.
We just need to build a cabin in the woods and an aircraft carrier. We're good to go.
Yeah. I think Battleship too was. They're all made by the American military to entice you on, but and arms. Weapons companies, sure, they want you to show their guns off in these big movies, but what they don't say is a lot of the things that they showcase don't work as well as,
Sure.
So it's funny, like false advertising, you couldn't say that about Pepsi products. Like you couldn't drink a Pepsi product and then grow big muscles and all the girls come around and you win every fight. But when the military makes a movie, you're never going to see America lose to the aliens.
I think everything in every movie is from the American military, and they're just surprised that we've got Transformers. I'm surprised people don't make more of a fuss about it. We've got an E.T. and Rocky Balboa. We send him in occasionally.
If I could change, you could change. We all could change. Yeah, that was quite a moment in cinematic history where Rocky changed Russia, and with all of the Communist Party's heads of states, the entire audience decided to embarrass them by cheering for Rocky.
So fickle, the Politburo. They were like a weather vane, weren't they?
Yeah.
Always flipping between communism and capitalism.
Yeah. They didn't. They should have done like a Animal House style ending to that movie where it shows you what happened to everybody. Like, Vladimir went to the Gulag, and Oleg went to the Gulag, just all the way across, watching this death march across Russia, going, but it was good fight, right? Oh, it was very good fight, Rocky. I love Rocky.
Just an aerial photo of the city that the fight took place in. Went to the Gulag.
Yeah.
That's how they fight every war, man. They've got fucking Rocky, they've got a fucking truck that changes into a fucking robot. Everything, man.
Do you know what I noticed about Transformers? It's very creepy end to the first one, which is the only one I saw, where Shia LaBeouf, or the Beef, as he's known in Gay Paris.
How'd you get that name? My great-great-granddad.
Yeah. Some cars come from space and help him out. But he makes friends with that, the car he drives around, and that's his buddy. And
Bumblebee.
Yeah, Bumblebee, you're right. And at the end, he has a long makeout session with Megan Fox on the hood of Bumblebee.
Shit, man.
Like, that's his buddy. he's sort of having a threesome on, just banging her on his buddy's chest.
There's a missing scene in the director's cut where the machines only agree to help humanity if you fuck women on us. I mean, right on top of us, too.
Yeah.
Get her feet in the glove compartment. I gotta be part of this.
Yeah.
Why are they fucking cars on their own planet? Who's fucking driving them up there? Fucking Michael Knight. We were a planet full of cars with nobody in them. And we decided to come here.
What possible advantage could that be? Like, it's just the most fortuitous thing. Like, you know that thing we can all do for no reason?
There's a planet where that's normal.
Yeah, that thing we look like when we...
It's really weird being a pickup truck in space. It's got a fucking CD player and everything. The fuck's this for? Part of my body. I can play country and western music.
Yeah, the ones that I felt bad for were the ones that were unable to move. Like, they could turn into a ghetto blaster. And then they're just sitting there. You know? It's pretty good for the beach. Not much else.
Like the disabled community of the Transformer world.
Yeah, I just never thought, though. I never thought that, an alien robot war could be so boring.
They managed it.
Yeah. It's like, you guys are playing too much defense here or something, because,
I tell you what was possibly one of the worst films ever. I only checked in on Fast and the Furious 4. I decided to drop into the franchise there. And that was shockingly poor.
Yeah, that's the one where they drive around in the metropolis without cops.
Yeah. What life would be like if there was no police and everybody was amazingly fucking stupid.
I thought the one about the one where they like to squeal, or like the Tokyo Drift, which is apparently where you squeal to take a corner.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a whole movie. It's just a fucking bad idea.
It's like this, there's a whole world now where nobody asks why. You know what I mean? Like, the whole of culture could be improved by just paying someone to say why every 10 minutes in a meeting. You know? So, like, people saying, yeah, Fast and the Furious 3 made money so we could have this and then start with a big truck and we'll get Vin Diesel back. And why? Yeah, you're right. It's the whole thing with movies. Why we watch movies and we go, that's terrible. And the people that are making them out, I'm so proud of this movie. And the fucking difference is cocaine. You know? If they fucking put cocaine on the popcorn, Transformers would be fucking amazing. It'd be 3 minutes long for a start. Wow, yeah, it's fucking...
Yeah. If you thought it was hard to get people to keep their phones off now, don't put Coke in the popcorn.
I've never taken coke. Never. Because I'm already a bit of a prick. No point souping it up. I've never met anyone going, it was great because he was on coke. I thought we were going to have a horrible time, but then he just fucking flecked spittle over me with his ideas for a screenplay. We had a wonderful time. Did you see Prometheus?
Yeah.
What the fuck was going on?
I'll tell you what I didn't know was going on. I didn't know it was a prequel to Alien.
Not at all.
No, this is sick fucking. So the first time the lizard sucked somebody's face, I'm like, that's a good movie, but like, it's a lot like Alien. And I accepted it all the way through, and then just at the end said to my buddy, like, fucking, why did they have to make the alien so close to the alien? You could make him anything. And he's like,
I tell you what I didn't to say. Godfather Part 2. They're ripping Coppola off so badly.
yeah, call it something different.
HD's ruined a lot of fucking films now, man.
Sure has, man.
I can see Marlon Brando's fucking makeup. You're like, fuck. Just everybody's covered in kind of sticky fucking paint. It's horrible. That's what the greatest movies turned into a school play with HD.
Yeah, they all, it's too well lit, you know? You can... A lot of times too, like the love interests in these movies, once you get them in HD, like, I don't think.
That's why my career's over, man. I'd look like a fucking ordnance survey map. Yeah, pretty hilly around there. Well, I've always thought this about cocaine, right? I find it a bit sad that someone would need confidence. Do you know what I mean? And I sort of think, so it's a drug, people tend to be more socially confident and stuff. And I think, well, if I have enough fucking confidence and I'm incompetent.
Well, you see, this is the mistake you're making with that, is, and it's something I've come to now, where I don't like having anybody around if I do some coke. Because the whole way I used to do it, I used to take a bunch of coke and tell everybody how great I was. Now I just do it on my own and just sit there knowing how good I am. So, you see this, first of all, the shard was created by architect Renzo Piano, which is enough. You don't even have to make any more jokes.
He's going to have to become an architect, really. Yeah. I want my name to be remembered. Hey, to be honest, Renzo, people would remember, just people who went to high school with you, they'd remember that.
Everyone remembers your name, Renzo. And the fact that, oddly, every second tooth you have is black. But they're worried about how much it costs to go to the top of the shard, which is, the kind of thing that gets into the newspaper when drone strikes are going on.
Every time they move house, his parents hire two fucking monkeys to carry him upstairs as a kind of in-joke. Don't tell the monkeys. What was the fucking story?
It's very expensive to go to the top of the shard. I think it's £25. Apparently they'll lower it if people stop calling it the shart. They make you sign a contract because it has quickly... I don't know anybody who doesn't call it the shart now. Yeah. It's one of those, things that just, you're just unfortunate. it just gets named. So, you know, you name it something, and nothing means that or is close to that, and then one guy farts or thinks he's gonna fart. He shits his pants, and he's like, I was gonna shart. Like he's just trying to tell somebody. And he goes, I sharted. And then everybody's like, yeah, that's what that's called. You mixed them together, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Thank you. And then fucking Renzo Piano, I'm not kidding, is ruining the person who who couldn't hold their bowels properly. I feel sorry for Scatman Crothers. He was supposed to be psychic, but you know the guy from The Shining?
Yeah.
His name was Scatman Carruthers. You know, like he was actually, they hired him because they said that Scatman could see the future. Not when it came to nicknames.
Oh God, this name's really gonna win me over.
Maybe it was his way of telling us.
That's what he was trying to get that kid into. You've got that special thing. Really? Yeah, I'll start you off on chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
I suppose if your second name's Piano, you just go fuck it with the first name. Renzo. It's a good job the fucking Transformers didn't land in the time of the Terminators. Because they would have looked fucking stupid turning up as a fucking school bus. In a world dominated by machines. Look, I can turn into this hang glider. What the fuck are you doing here, stupid assholes?
The 1600s.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are, but I think we should put them in charge.
Suddenly they've got to write plays, man. If you were to write down all the things we fucking like in movies, as if you were to take it as a kind of psychological document, you're like, well, what people want to see is chicks in sports bras being hacked to death by a psycho. That's kind of what we're all into.
Yeah. Well, you know, you look at the BBC's lineup for an evening where, you know, one of them is going to be a murder mystery, and there'll be also a show about somebody finding a bargain.
Yeah.
And then some trivia. It's really odd, you know, that's what people would want, sort of in that order too. Like, make a little money, show everybody how smart I am, and then watch somebody try and get away with murder, but not because the little weird Belgian guy figured it out.
It's such a fucking weird thing, isn't it? Because it's like, I like crossword puzzles, but nobody gets their brains beaten in with a candlestick. So someone's going to have to come up with something that satisfies my quizzical bloodlust. You know.
I remember trying to explain to somebody what Lovejoy was. And like, I don't even think I ever, like, my mom used to watch it, but am I wrong? Is that he was an antiques dealer that used to solve crimes?
Yeah, a lot of crimes, like a lot.
Like one a week.
Yeah.
Another.
You think he'd have got a medal for solving one crime? That was quite 100 pretty serious fucking crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was basically just people saying Lovejoy in different voices was the engine of the show. So it was like a posh lady, oh, Lovejoy. And there was a cop who hated him, Lovejoy! Lovejoy!
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of those names that I didn't realize was a name. Like, it's just never really.
It was another of those shows as well. This has happened quite a few times in Britain, where they just fucking gave up on the show, right? So they just went, oh, for fuck's sake, this is fucking rubbish, right? And like stopped making it. And then like 5 or 6 years later, they went, we've got nothing.
bring back Lovejoy. So there's like a fucking, that if you watch it, he ages like fucking 10 years right in the middle of it. Just because they went, we can't keep fucking putting this out. And then eventually they went, maybe we can. Lovejoy! Lovejoy! Fucking hell.
Like anytime you go into tele, they're like, you pitch something, they're like, oh, we need it all written out, and it's all got to be okayed. Totally scripted. You can't improvise at all. But on a reality show, they'll let two with the Goldie-looking chain just talk. Yeah, they'd probably say something.
Yeah. He'll probably be annoyed about his hammock. That'll be gold.
Oh, yeah.
So we were talking about Jordan's about to get married again to a builder that she met 3 weeks ago. And he doesn't seem to be a builder, he seems to be
He's also a stripper.
Yep.
And I don't think that's a building term. I think
we need a stripper on this job.
Yeah.
Get bored.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably led to a little confusion. I need you to get in the garage and strip it. What the hell? Jesus. Johnson, quit putting money in his pants. You're just
gonna carries that best.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I appreciated how Jordan feels she's finally found a regular guy, and then you see a picture of him in his underpants taking a picture of himself with an iPhone and a six-pack, and he's got his arms up like a fucking guy who wants to show you his armpit, which...
He's a regular guy in the world of Conan. Hey!
Yeah. Just a down-to-earth guy with a shaved armpits and a spray tan. Just simple folk. Yeah, so I'm sure they'll go on to lead a very, very normal life and
briefly.
Yeah.
A brief, let's be honest, absurd life that to us would seem like a fucking acid trip. As her bloated face splits like a peach under the weight of his fucking flint-like body.
That might just be the mating process.
Yeah. He lays an egg in her face. Something looks like it's laying a fucking egg in her face.
Yeah.
She's bloated, man. Or chosen to blow, or fuck knows. Some kind of poison has puffed up her face like an infected knee.
Maybe she's getting silicone implants right into her organs. Yeah, somebody told her beauty was on the inside. So she's now been cosmetically enhancing her organs.
She's desperately holding on, waiting for a soul implant. It's going to make the whole thing worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a Carl Jung's soul. Now I walk around the garden talking to a demon every day. That's what he did for a bit. He had this fucking guy would pop up and talk to him, fold his wings up, and they would meander around the garden discussing this and that. And he sort of recognised it as part of his psyche, but nonetheless it manifested itself as a fucking winged Donnie Darko style. Anyway, I'm your analyst. Why am I talking about myself? Now, some problems with your father.
This is young Freud's buddy?
Yeah, they weren't buddies
all
the way through,
Well,
had their ups and downs. Soap opera.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it have to do with the demon?
Why are you always bringing the demon, Carl?
Yeah.
I got 2 pork chops, and now I've got to go and find a black lamb.
Yeah.
This time of night.
That is a very seductive way to smoke a cigar. He knows what he's doing.
I always thought, what if Freud just had this fucking really stunning mum?
And a real dick of a dad.
Yeah. Nothing universal, it was just his fucking really hot mother. They should do a fucking teenage Freud and Jung. Fucking
Little Freud.
Yeah, Little Freud. What did you dream about last night, Carl?
A Freud of the dark. I can go here all day long.
A Freud in the dark would be like the nighttime version where they investigate mysteries. Yet again, it just turned out to be a manifestation of the unconscious. I think we're going to get cancelled if we don't get a real monster in here.
Yeah.
So,
I want to fuck my mom. We know this one, Freud. Okay.
his mum's played by fucking Kelly Brook. Your tea's ready, honey.
Yeah, just fucking putting down the dinner with just a big jiggly rack right in front of his face. Dinner's ready, son. Yeah, and a cooked up Keith Allen playing his father.
We're in decadence, man. And that's the fucking problem. You know, we're in this late stage decadence where everyone thinks they know everything. That's a fucking real huge problem in trying to educate yourself or anybody, is that you think that you already fucking know it. And people Google it or Wikipedia it and fucking... This would have been what... I bet you at the fall of Rome, they would have been like, yeah, I know all about the Dacians. See, I've not even checked this out. I've not even checked out. Well, this is what it was like at the fall of Rome. I just fucking, yeah, I know that. You know.
Yeah, I know Rome fell, and this is probably why.
I don't know when it was, but, you know, it'll all have been to do with hubris.
Yes. I don't like, but everybody says it fell. Did it fall, or did just people just fucking get bored and just think, you know, Rome realized, well, why do we have to? There's a lot of effort trying to be an empire.
And you know what? Being raped by Vandals. We're actually now so decadent that would turn us on. Watching someone smash my statues and fucking rape my wife. I'd pay for that.
Yeah. It's a very specific sexuality that I have.
I think God's just really fucking insecure.
Yeah.
All love. You've all gotta love me all the time.
Yeah.
There's love from everybody.
Yeah.
Even though quite a lot of you worship different gods.
Yeah, we can be pretty sure God isn't in a good relationship with their spouse. You know, I don't know where they go when they're gone, but I have my humans and
she hates me, but the ant colony love me. My fish, my little fish in a tank, they love me. Look at that.
Listen to
God,
them.
it's like a fucking
This one wants a
gangster.
bicycle, and this one wishes his son didn't have AIDS, and this one... Maybe I'll pull off a trick where they're all happy. Some sort of bicycling doctor doling out cures. Yeah, that'd be quite a, like, if you could grant everyone's prayers at once. That's fucking fail swoop, but you had to make it exist within reality. Like, you couldn't just go bang.
God's like, I'd love to sort everyone's problems out, but Super God only gave me 3 wishes. I'm waiting for things to
dissect like a John Irving novel where I make one wish. I mean, you'd think world peace, but then...
Overpopulation, which you'd think would be good, because more people to love me, but they get a little rooey when they get a little starvy.
But just trust me on this. I'm like a great novelist. It's going to be a moment. It's going to like an M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, or however you pronounce that.
Yeah. I could use up a wish, just get him to change his name to something I could pronounce. There we go. Okay, 2 left.
I'm going to regret that one, I know.
It's still going to work out.
Yeah. Maybe this is part of the foreshadowing. And then in the end it turns out I had to do it.
People don't consider a lot of stuff about God, like fucking maybe God gets turned on by suffering. I mean, that would make a lot more sense than he's a being of infinite love. Do you know what I mean? Like, his world, I mean, if you went into someone's house and there's a lot of fucking starving bodies and people being shot in it, you'd be like, this guy's a fucking sadomasochistic fucking Colombian drug lord sex freak.
Yeah.
He enjoys this. Not. I'm sure Pablo would sort this out. I'm sure he'd sort this out if he was in his power. You know, he fucking loves this.
Yeah.
He loves fucking. He's getting off on it.
Yeah. Well, that's the question. Is the Lord petitionable by prayer?
Maybe he's just swamped. You know, maybe he is petitionable by prayer, but he's just it's like me and Twitter. You know, it's probably the odd person who's not threatening to kill me who actually wants to. That extra you did, was there a pilot for Karen? And I'd like to tell them. But, do you know what? I got to sit through a lot of people who want me to die in pain. Sorry. But I think it's quite a good thing in a way. In the old days, to say it's gone through various stages, it would have gone through like Eric Morecambe just thinks everyone in the country loves him, right? Because fucking 20 million people watch his show, everyone that comes up to him in the street loves him. But probably if the internet had existed, there would have been like a whole bunch of people you and your the same fucking song at the end of every episode, you asshole. I fucking hate you. Right? I think there's a side to it in it where it's like, it's about talking about a symptom, right? So people go, why is there this trolling thing and people coming on and saying, I fucking hate Richard Bacon, which is pointless on any level, right?
Yeah.
Like him or don't like him or don't fucking tell him about it, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and how predatory is Richard Bacon in your life? Like, I can't get away from this fucking guy.
Richie's fucking show on every week and there he is. Fucking stare me in the face.
I'm a time slot guy. I have very little time to view television. It's at a very specific time.
There he is! I have to threaten his family a little. What the fuck is
Yeah, point it out to him, you know?
But there's this sense to which people talk about that and they go, why is there this terrible thing? And nobody goes, why are people so fucking unhappy? Why is it fucking unhappy that like a former Blue Peter presenter seems like their fucking nemesis? I can't imagine the fucking low I'd have to think to before that was an issue.
Yeah, why him?
Yeah.
How little do you think of yourself that your nemesis would be a television presenter? Oh yes, you wouldn't want to quarrel with one of them.
Bring back Julian, man. You want to get rid of fucking trolling? Get the old Jules back on the go.
Yes.
Celebrities are a lot fair. They have a lot more free time.
Yeah.
I'd say the average person that challenged fucking Richard Bacon to a duel, right? Bacon can just take a month off the radio, practice flintlock pistol shooting. He'll be fucking immaculately prepared for the whole fucking thing. He'll get a show out of it.
Yeah,
fucking-
I wouldn't even be sure that they're not practicing flintlock musketeering as it is.
Yeah, and in
The
fact,
kind of
they're off
thing.
ahead of the curve. You know? I have a theory that their curve is based on, Boy was always ahead of the curve. Boy was always like doing glam rock just before glam rock almost, and then he starts taking up fucking the Velvet Underground before the fucking Velvet Underground really are famous. Do you know what I mean? And he's
Boy George.
no Boy.
Bowie.
Yeah.
I was trying
Boy
to
George,
follow you.
Boy George has been so far behind. It's about to come round and hand me the back of
I thought
the
you'd gone crazy. Because not only were you referencing these wild claims about Boy George, you just started calling him by his first name without any boy. Was ahead of the curve. There was a little part of me going, is that true?
There's no curve that he's ahead of. It's a straight line and it's moved away from him. But Bowie, even fucking Tin Machine, was like trying to do grunge just before grunge happened. He's like he's a canary in a cage, Bowie. So I reckon they fucking locked him up sometime early in the 90s, replaced him. And Bowie's in a fucking, X-Files style fucking glass lab somewhere, and they're watching the fucking shit he does. He's growing like an empathy tendril and a fucking nodule in the middle of his head that lets him process propaganda, and it's all the sort of stuff that we're going to be doing in 20 years' time, man.
Yeah. Well, no, he's just fractured off into all the different Bowies that he's been.
Yeah.
Sort of keeping each other company.
He can split into everyone, man. That Kevin Bacon advert is just their attempt to fucking...
There was another idea the other day. To just, what if we do this, but Kevin Bacon? Love it! Should we tell them about David Bowie's incredible power?
No. The thin white joke gets loose. We're all screwed.
Yeah. The only reason people know about him is that one of his ideas got out of the cage in 1970. It became David Bowie that we know right now.
It's only Ziggy started self-doubt that allows us to cage it. There's not even any real loss.
It's a cage that he made and gave to us.
You need to trap me. Trust me, it works out well in the long run. God's got this idea. He's cooked up with M. Night Shyamalan. Although by the time you hear of him, he'll be called George Brown. It's easier to pronounce.
There we go.
It's fucking weird as well. Well, in comedy it's weird because you see people doing these things about, freaking comics do routines about this and that, and you're like, I've seen a comic doing a routine about comics do routines about from when I started, and they were fucking better than this. They do talk about these kinds of things, and you are one of the things they talk about is the thing you're talking about, the shit they talk about, Comics talking about blah 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 and trips to Amsterdam and fuck you.
What bothers me about that point of view too is it suggests that those comedians sit around and think of great jokes about that subject matter and just don't choose to do them because, like if they thought of a great Amsterdam joke, the fucking next Edinburgh show would be called Amsterdam and they'd dance out in clogs. Oh, it'd be bad. They'd be swimming in a canal on the poster. It's just because you sat down. Because, that's the thing about a well-worn subject matter. It's actually hard to write good jokes. I got in trouble with the Snowed In tour for making fun of snowboarding and
No way.
in radio interviews. It just said, "Oh, I don't ski or snowboard anymore. I used to ski, but it's just a lot of standing in line, man." If I wanted to stand in line with Eurotrash, I'd go to Luton.
I think if you get sponsored for anything involving comedy, you should expect a heavy kicking. I'm going to sponsor those piss takers, and they better not take the piss. Hope they're all quiet and respectful down there in the professional cynicism quadrant.
I got hired for a corporate one. I don't even know what it was. It was good money, though. I went on, and I did so well at this corporate that I got an encore. Encore, but heavy complaint and threatening to withhold half the fee, which the management at the time was backing the fucking company, going, "How dare you?" Because the company's name, which they hung on a big balloon behind me. What do you think would be like the most inappropriate company name, like in sort of the times where there's sort of like a undercurrent of class revolution? Money Corp.
Money Corp.
I was like, does Superman ever show up and fight your boss? You can't hang Money Corp on a fucking balloon that was twisting as I'm doing my jokes, and I'm doing.
Hey, Bruce Willis is climbing through the vents. Last one I did was, and they started to go sort of badly towards the end. Was this? It's like fucking probably near Christmas time, but like December. The sort of time they have those things, early December, and they're just animals. Just fucking. That kind of Bertie Wooster-ish. Fucking, they're throwing bread rolls at each other, sort of animals. And they have these acts on. So a fucking magician or someone comes on and they boo him, and it's the obviously cunts, right? And I'm just standing there watching it, and these ladies get on and they're a sort of gymnast thing. They stand in shapes, so they'll do a pyramid shape and they'll do, but they've got to hold the thing, and they're difficult things to hold, and a woman will be at the top like the bowl of a fountain, and they're pretty impressive. And a guy just gets up and fucking, while they're holding this position, slaps one of the women really hard on the arse, right? And I go, fuck this. I'm not doing your fucking show, right? And I just leave. And I'm at the elevator, and the fucking managing director came up and went, "We thought you were a fucking laugh." And she's a woman, right? "We thought you were fucking going to come on and, fucking take the piss or whatever." I'm going, a woman's on stage there trying to do something, and it's pretty dangerous, even what they're doing, And someone got up and slapped her on the arse, and she went, "It's Christmas!" Like, the time of sex assaults on people.
Why you think so many people are born in September? Christmas rapes, Frankie Boyle.
Jabbing the fucking elevator button. Oh, God. Your Honor, it was Christmas. I dangled some mistletoe above her.
So it's all legit.
And also you leave and they go, "That was great."
Yeah. Well, they always have to say it was great because ultimately one of them has made the fucking ridiculous decision to try and have someone speak to these fucking mongoloids. I know what we'll do. We'll get these people who are already idiots drunk and a thing that they have to go to because it's office. Yeah, that's.
Then we'll see how they feel about a bit of wordplay. Let's see how they deal with things that aren't immediately obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, you might as well fucking Easter egg hunters. Something that, but do it with booze.
Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that time we showed those Matisse paintings to an Alsatian. The expressions I'm dealing with in this room.
Yeah. Yeah. I once had an idea as for, I don't know what you could use it as, but the main character was abducted as a child and used in kiddie porn and a lot of films. So as an older gentleman, like he gets out, I don't know how, but every time somebody recognizes him, like, how do I know you? That's how he knows they're evil people. Like, there's just something about your face that rings a bell.
Or even if they just seem friendly, because he's crazy.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in kiddie porn.
Yeah, it turns out in his head that's what he was in, but it turns out he was just in like a
Gentle Ben.
Yeah.
He was sodomized by the director of Gentle Ben.
Yeah. Well, he was tricked into thinking that it was parts of the show. Just like they set cameras up and
Is
stuff.
the bear gonna come in and rescue me?
Yeah.
Bear's busy in this scene. He's cooking pancakes for your mom.
Yeah. How come these never make it to air? Because I would go to jail. Now. But it's good to have them. We'll do a DVD later. It'll be a part of the extras.
It's a great big Christmas special where we portray a flesh Guernica of sexual imagery.
Images of interspliced with images of snarling bears.
My idea was fucking Geppetto from Pinocchio was a paedophile. He was just lived on his own in the forest, and a wee boy lived with him, and he said to his mates, he tells lies. Don't listen to him. It's varnish he's covered in.
He's a puppet. That's why I had my hand there.
Could you move deeper into the woods, Geppetto? Thanks.
I always said that's what's good about Canada. If you have anything that you feel makes you weird, you just go in the woods and do it. And the weirder it is, the deeper you go. And then you might bump into somebody deep in the woods too, but they're up to something also.